Okay, YouTube, we're back for the umpteenth time, and now I'm going to explain your oil ring, because it might be a little bit confusing. You pretty much do your oil rings the same way that you do your compression rings, but I want you guys to take note of the difference in the compression ring. This one's slightly over 16 thousandths. This is almost right at 16 thousandths. So this is going to be the very top one. This is going to be my second compression ring, and this is my oil ring. It has that weird shape to it. I forget, it's corrugated, but I forget exactly why they call it that. It's just an oil ring, okay? This is your oil ring, and these are your side rails, okay? Your side rails are quite skinnier and not as beefy as your compression rings, because they're meant to let oil through the back of the piston. Now, if you look at the piston, I don't have holes inside of my piston. I have these little channels that actually, let the oil seep in through here, off of the cylinder wall, so all the oil will channel in through there. And this thing, as well as the side rails, there's actually two of these that go in here. One's actually in the cylinder, but somebody brought their car in the garage and ruined my freaking setup. Anyway, the side rails pretty much assist in spreading the oil on the cylinder as it goes up and down. So that's pretty much what the function of the oil ring and the side rails are. Now that explanation's done, let's talk about the ring gaps for your side rails and your oil ring. Your oil ring is corrugated. It's meant to spread oil evenly throughout the cylinder of your throughout the cylinder bore, all the way around, okay, the circumference of your cylinder bore. So you don't want to cut this or do anything with it. You want to leave it just the way it is, okay? So toss that over there for now. Now your side rails are a different story. Of course, you do the same thing. You put it inside the cylinder, use your piston to push it down maybe about an inch, maybe even a little bit further than that. And then when it pinches down in the cylinder, you want to measure that gap right there to see what it is. Now, Haynes specifies that gap should be between 16 thousandths and 55 thousandths of an inch, okay? That's that's a large discrepancy, okay? But me personally, my logic would say that you want your top ring to be a little bit tighter than your bottom ring. So I'm gonna put both of these in here either at 16 thousandths, because if they're at 16 thousandths already, I'm just gonna leave them alone. But if they're not, I'm gonna put my bottom ring a little bit looser than my top ring, so my top ring can help this. My top rail, side rail, can help assist this in spreading the oil, okay? And that's the only reason why. Other than that, if it's 16 thousandths and 16 thousandths, I'll literally just leave it the way it is. There's no reason to really change that, just because of the fact that, it's going to do its job either way. If it's at 16 thousandths, that's the tight end, but you know what? It'll still work. So now we have to go all the way over here with our 16 thousandths gauge, because that's already out right there. I already have that oil ring in a cylinder, so we're gonna check it real quick, see what it comes up to. And this is exactly how you check it. You just put your gauge in there and try to make sure it's in there. Wow, that's right at 16 thousandths. It might be a little bit looser than 16 thousandths actually. So you just want to try to put it in the gap and see what you get. Try to make sure that that's even though, because if it's not even, you could get a inaccurate number and think that you're good when you're not good. So try to make sure that you push those ends even after you push your piston in there, and then check it. And be careful, because this thing slides around a lot and I keep on sliding it, but my 16th is sliding in there. My 16th feeler gauge is sliding in there regardless. So it's like I bump it and it should get tighter by the way I bumped it, because I'm doing it at an angle. So it's actually looser than 16 thousandths. So we know that's good. This one, I can't tell you if I did check that one. I think I did check that one already. You don't want to get these two mixed up. But I'm going to check this one. If it's at 16 thousandths, we're just going to install them on that piston and go ahead and slap it in the car. So I'll bring you guys back after I check this one. If it's good, we're going to install these rings on this piston, and then we'll clock them right before we install it. Yeah. So 16 thousandths for this one and that one. That only took me a little while to check because I didn't have a camera. I actually was able to install this with one hand because it's so small and flimsy. That's what she said. Anyway, now we're going to install these The way I was taught, a lot of people say, oh, you need a a piston ring installer. I wasn't taught that way, but we're going to start this over with a fresh card, so that way I don't run out of time and I can show you guys and take my time and do it right, because you can snap these, so you want to take your time. So we are back. Let's talk piston ring installation. Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh, you need to get a piston ring installer, blah 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 blah. That's nonsense. I'm going to show you how to install these right now, and hopefully I don't talk too much trash to where this bites me in the ass. So usually I start off, not usually, this is my first time rebuilding an engine, but from what I've learned, the best place to start is from the bottom. Okay, now I've taken these off and put them back on a few times. There's a few scratches on the piston, as you can tell, but you can't even feel them. But make a long story short, the easiest way I've had with it, my limited experience, is to start at the bottom, like so, get your ring started, and then go around and kind of, you know, follow the contour of the piston and kind of warp the ring a little bit. Now that sounds intense, but you can get away with it that way. But it slips right on there, as you can see. Now, the oil ring, I think, is a little bit more lenient because it's corrugated. But, you know, personally, I'd rather be safe than sorry and bend it and break it and then have to use an old one. So, again, I'm going to show you guys how this really plays out when I do it. This is how it is, like that. I take the part that I'm going to install first. Usually I'm right-handed, so I use the right side to hold it with my thumb. And then, God, it's not cooperating right now. Start off like that, wrapped around, and then I'm just kind of like push, and it falls kind of in place by itself. Now these are oil rings, so they're a little bit easier to deal with. Make sure that your corrugated ring and your oil ring aren't crossed up like these are. These are severely crossed up. So my side rail ring wants to go to the top and my oil ring wants to go to the bottom, and that's not going to work. So you fix that real quick. Yay! Side rail ring is totally cock blocking right now. Sorry YouTube, I know that's not proper nun language. When I say proper nun language, YouTube's community guidelines say that if you can't say it in front of a nun, don't say it at all. So yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to make sure that that gets down in the right spot. So I guess I should show you guys how I'm doing that. Just taking my finger and going along the edge of it. Now this oil ring is really being a pain in the ass. It's really the side rail being a pain in the ass right now. So we're gonna keep fighting with it until we get it, because it can't be installed this way. So there we go. Now oil ring, get in there. This oil ring's starting to look like it might be a little bit too fat, to be completely honest with you. If I'm completely honest. Yeah, I think it is too fat. Okay. Well, you know what? We're gonna do this way. We're gonna take off our oil ring, take off our side rail. And this is real life, people, so yes, I make mistakes. Plenty of mistakes. Anybody who knows me will say that. Dad makes a lot of mistakes. Nezrak makes a lot of mistakes, my bad. Okay, there we go. Coming off, buddy. To get it off, you just kind of do the reverse process. We're gonna put this on first, because there's little notches in the back. I'm pretty sure that my side rails are fighting against that, so this is gonna go on first. Make sure it's connected in the center. Yeah, you know what? Starting to think this oil ring's too big. Because it's not even compressing. Not properly, anyway. Okay, I'll bring you guys back after I figure this out.